How to stop another Ottawa-like shooting or a hit-and-run attack. We talked to our Ottawa bureau chief about emerging solutions. I'm Affan Chowdhry. Welcome to Globe Now. It's been a week since the Ottawa shootings that killed a Canadian soldier and led to a lockdown of Parliament. 2 days earlier, a hit-and-run attack in Quebec that left one Canadian soldier dead. Since then, there's been a conversation between government, law enforcement, and counter-terrorism experts how to stop similar attacks in the future. Well, to help us understand some of the ideas that are emerging, we're joined by the Globe's Ottawa bureau chief, Ryan MacDonald. Hi, Ryan.
Hello, Affan.
We're going to talk about some of the measures in a moment, but, what is the mood like in Ottawa today, 1 week since the shootings?
I would say it's somber and emotional. All of the political parties are now meeting in the same caucus rooms where they were when the attack occurred. So people are obviously reliving that in their minds. There's some changes on the street, we'll call it. The parliamentary precinct is a different place. There are RCMP, there are armed guards, there are changes that affect how you get onto Parliament. But for the most part, people have tried to bring Parliament back to normal. So there's still tours going on, and there is an effort to get back to the regular course of business.
Let's talk about some solutions that are being discussed. Let's take the example of Martin Couture-Rouleau. He was considered a threat. His passport was taken away, and he still carried out this attack in Quebec. What are some of the solutions being considered to deal with this kind of case?
Well, there are a number of things that are being considered. So obviously, we had the changes to the CSIS Act, which were the first changes in 30 years. Those were expected, and so that's happened. But I think the more interesting thing that we're watching for are increased police powers. And you saw Bob Paulson, the RCMP commissioner, asking for increased police powers to deal with issues like the Couture-Rouleau case. One of the things that we're hearing is some kind of measure to deal with people who support attacks against Canada. And obviously that will, if it does come to pass, will have some civil liberty implications. And that's the kind of debate that we're watching right now.
So, in the case of Martin Couture-Rouleau, is the idea that there be changes, that he could have been arrested earlier, so to prevent similar cases in the future?
I think this is what we're hearing from police right now, is that there is a frustration that they can't act earlier. And one of the other measures under consideration at this point is to allow for earlier preventive arrest.
Let's look at the case of Michael Zahaf-Bibeau, the Ottawa shooter. What is the most important issue officials are trying to answer in that case?
In that case, we're still trying to understand the motive. So John Kerry was here yesterday, and he very specifically referred to this as a terrorist attack. And John Baird and the Prime Minister have also referred to this as a terrorist attack. The other two parties, the Liberals and the NDP, are choosing to call this a criminal case. So in a sense, I think the biggest issue right now is trying to understand what motivated this man.
And I think one of the clues might be in the purported video that is in the hands of the RCMP.
Yeah, and I think there are some other measures under consideration that our reporter Josh Wingrove wrote about today. It's kind of a third track. And it's a bill largely dealing with cyberbullying, but there are measures in there that would allow for earlier surveillance of people's activities around, what they're doing online.
Mm-hmm. So, that brings us to one of the key questions, which is how do you stop someone like Michael Zahaf-Bibeau?
This is the big debate. The Prime Minister and others have referred to the radicalization of these people. That is something that the Parliament is really struggling with, because there are issues around civil liberties. We cannot go out and charge somebody for thinking radical thoughts. So it's going to be a challenging time for the government. Mm-hmm. I think Stephen Harper faces a challenge in terms of how far does he go? Is he going to calibrate and think about the civil liberties that are involved in this case, or is he going to go a little bit further and give police some wide-ranging measures?
Okay, Ryan, thank you so much.
Thanks. Thanks.
Well, we want to hear from you. How confident are you that law enforcement agencies have the tools and resources to deal with these threats? Tweet us at Globe Now. That's all for today's show. I'm Affan Chowdhry. Thanks for watching.